There'll be some intro music and we'll ease in. All right. Welcome everybody to the GRODCAST. I'm your host, Young Greasy. Today I'm joined by Slim Sadie, all the way from Thailand. And why don't we just get the ball rolling? So what is important?
What is important? Just like in life.
Yeah.
Mm, what is important? Um, to me, friendship is very important. Family is very important. I feel like what I've learned from like living in different places and traveling a lot is that like it's all about the connections that you make and the people that you meet. That's what ends up like mattering the most, at least for me. And I think like having deep interest is very, very important for me, at least if I don't have something that I'm like actively pursuing or like learning, um, then life doesn't seem that interesting. Um, so yeah, it's a hard
What are
question.
some of those deep interests lately?
Right now, I'm doing a lot of guitar and singing, which is really fun. I feel like especially with guitar and singing, there's like no like ceiling, so you can just like keep getting better and better, which is really nice. Like there's like I'm still like very much a beginner at guitar, but like it's nice to know that like you can practice that for the rest of your life, and you could still like not be at a certain level. Um, so that's really fun. And then usually like drawing, painting and stuff, those have been my like interests in the past. And I think it's the same thing with that. Like you can just like keep trying to like level up and practice every single day. And that's really fun. And if I don't have one of those things, like some like artistic like venture to try and pursue, it's like, yeah, life doesn't seem as good. So I think those things are very important.
Have
Yeah.
you how long have you been playing?
Only like 6 months, so
Oh,
not very long. Yeah, a very short amount of time. Um, yeah, but I'm mostly learning guitar just so I can like accompany myself singing. That's like the main motivation that I learned how to play guitar. So, um, I'm trying to like I kind of have to force myself to actually like learn more things on guitar just because like I am just kind of using it as like an accompaniment tool, but it is fun to like learn different things. Like sometimes I sit down and I'm like, no, like actually learn something on this instrument. Like that's super cool. And there's so many different things that you can do. But yeah, it's only been about 6 months, so I haven't
uh,
even like played bar chords yet. I'm too scared.
yeah, but you can kind of cheat around it for a while. Um,
That's what I've been doing exactly. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I think if you keep playing, after like 10 years, it's amazing how much growth. Like, I feel like I am still getting better, you know, without like, I don't know. I try not to get too frustrated when I can't do something because I know maybe in a couple of years I will be able to. And um yeah. Mostly
Yeah.
acoustics so far.
Yeah. Only acoustic so far. You've been playing for over 10 years?
Um I think I started playing when I was like 11, but I
Wow.
was a classically trained violin and a lot of that translates. So but I don't know. I try and like play an hour a day, just go on ultimate guitar, pull up some chords and um
Mm.
it's impressive that you can play and sing already because it took me like years of playing guitar before I was able to like do both things. And yeah. Have you do you have a favorite song to cover for other people, like when you're performing?
Um, like a song that I play and sing that like a cover that I like to do.
Yeah, yeah.
I have lots. It's hard. I'm actually gonna play my first set next week, which is fun, like a paid gig at a restaurant, and I have like a whole set of I don't know, it's hard to choose. There's so many songs that I like to sing. Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish is a really nice one right now. Um, I've been doing a lot of Chapel Rowan songs, Good Luck Babe, Pink Pony Club, a lot of Adele songs. I'm doing Love Song by The Cure, but yeah, there's just like an endless amount of songs that you can play. It's really nice. I think I have on like the tabs, Ultimate Guitar Tabs app, like 150 like liked, you know. So when they're like, "Oh, you need to like make a set that's only 10 songs," it's hard to narrow it down sometimes. What's your favorite song to play, do you think, at the moment?
Um, Also The Cure, Just Like Heaven is a fun one.
Mm,
I tend to it kind of sticks more to the Dinosaur Jr. version, but I think another classic, like everyone wants you to play Wagon Wheel.
yeah.
Also, Landslide has been a hit. Fleetwood Mac has really been making a resurgence. So,
Yeah.
um,
Landslide's one of those songs on my list that I'm gonna do. That's a great song. Dreams, that one's really nice too. Edge of 17, that's a great song. Yeah.
have you always been a singer?
Yeah, I've always liked to sing since I was little. It was just kind of a thing that I knew that I liked. Like, I remember since I was like 4 or 5 years old, I was like, yeah, I love this. I want to like try and get better at this and like do this forever. And so then I was always in like, I don't know, every musical, every choir, like any like activity at school that involved singing. I was always like in it since like as early as I can remember. Um, and I always thought I wanted to go into like musical theater, do like the Broadway sort of thing. But I wasn't able to pursue that in high school because I went to high school in China and um, I wasn't around any other musical theater people, and my school didn't have a musical theater program. And so I kind of felt like not doing it in high school, like made me like lose that opportunity, you know what I mean? Because I was like, if I go to college with a bunch of musical theater people and I haven't done it the past 4 years, um, I'm at such a drastically different level, you know? So I got discouraged from that a lot and then kind of gave up on that for a while. But now I'm kind of getting back into singing in a different way, which is like playing guitar and singing and performing at open mics and doing gigs at different places, which is really cool. It's nice to have like been able to bring that back into my life in a different way.
For sure.
Yeah.
Um, have you have you tried writing anything?
I haven't tried writing any music. Um, I don't know. I find writing very intimidating. I don't know why. I'll just sit there with like a pen and just I don't know. My guitar teachers asked me to like write a few things and come to class just with some lyrics and like we can make something together. But I just sit there with the pen and just like I can't think of anything. Do you write music?
Yeah, Young Greasy is what I put everything out under, but
Yeah.
um for me it is hard to like if you sit down and you're like I'm gonna write something, often you can't, but like
Yeah.
it'll be like 2 a.m. and I'll just have an idea for a line. And once you have the first line, it's a lot easier to build everything around that. So
Yeah.
just being patient and waiting for the inspiration, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of just gotta let the inspiration just like come to you, I guess, and not force it.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
I think it feels really cool to play something live that you wrote, though. Um I think that's why I do it, is the art, you know. Um I haven't
Yeah.
been able to play much live since COVID though. So yeah.
Yeah.
But
Are there not that many like bars that are willing to do that, like where you live?
there are a few. I'm not sure if you ever went to the Missouri Lounge while you were in the Bay, but it
Mm.
closed during COVID, and it's actually reopening this month. And that was where I would go every week to play two songs. And I don't know.
Oh, that's exciting that it's reopening.
Yeah, it feels like full circle, you know.
Yeah, for sure. For
But
sure.
anyhow, moving on. Slim Sadie, what is one of your favorite movies and why?
Oh, it's a very good question. One of my favorite movies. Can I say two?
Yeah, one person came with a list of like 10, so yeah.
Um, okay, maybe I'll say more than two. Maybe I'll say like two or three. Sorry, let me get a sip of water quickly. I'm a little bit under the weather.
Mhm.
I don't want to be coughing all over this audio. So first one, my favorite like comedy movie, would be Hot Rod. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie.
Cool beans.
Cool Beans.
Yeah.
I love that movie. I've probably seen that movie like 10, 15 times, like, or maybe more than that. There's not a lot of movies that I can watch like over and over again, but I feel like every time I watch that movie, it just gets funnier and funnier. I think it's so funny because it doesn't like really make any sense. I think you can just kind of tell that like a lot of the movie is just like unscripted and improvised. And that's what's really funny. It's just really stupid. Like I have a feeling that Cool Beans thing was not on purpose. You know, someone just said it at some point and then they just like kept it in there. Like, yeah, so that's a great movie. Um, and then yeah, I need to say another one too, because I feel like I can't put like comedies and like serious movies like in the same realm as well. They're so different. But for like more serious films, um, oof, I've seen a lot of good ones lately. I saw this horror movie called Talk to Me. Um,
Oh, The
a
Hand.
few, yes. I feel like that was one of the best movies I've seen in a while. It was like really well made, really scary. The music in it was amazing. I love it when a movie has like a really, really good score. Or like the music in the movie was really, really good. Like, and that just like always adds so much to it. And I really like The Wolf of Wall Street. That's a really good movie. I've seen that movie many times, and I just think it's like so. The whole movie, you're just like on your toes. Like it's moving so fast. Um,
I
and
love
every
the
scene, like you're
scene.
just looking at the screen. Mm.
Yeah, I love the scene where they're on the Quaaludes and it's flopping around on the
Yeah.
ground. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's unbelievable acting. That's crazy. I've never seen anything like that. It's you think that that movie like can't go further and then it does. Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. Yeah, those are the ones that come straight to my head.
I think those are all top
Yeah.
tier. I think
Nice.
Hot Rod definitely makes my list. Uh, just
Yeah.
my name is Dave and I like to party.
Yeah. Yeah. So good. Like,
Yeah.
how did they come up with that? That's so funny.
Yeah, the whole
Yeah.
Lonely Island is so core to my childhood. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I wish that they would make like more movies like that. I don't know. They made that other one like Pop Star, but
oh, never
I never
stop,
saw that
never
one.
stopping. Yeah.
Was that good?
I don't think it was as good as Hot Rod, but um, it's hard to top.
It's very hard to top. Yeah, very hard. Yeah.
Well,
There's a lot of other movies that I could say. It's hard for me to like narrow it down. Yeah.
yeah.
I
Uh,
can, yeah. Hmm.
You should at some point try and make out a list of your favorites. And I I have been doing that, and there's a lot of things that you forget, upon
Yeah.
rewatching. So,
Yeah, definitely. I just saw the new Alien movie actually like last week, and I was shocked at how good that was. Like that was super, super good. I thought it was just like it was very scary. The acting was really good, and it was just like thrilling in this like really like exciting way. And like yeah, that was I recommend watching that if that's still in theaters over there. That was a fantastic movie. I feel like a lot of these like big blockbuster films have just been like cash grabs lately and just haven't been that good. Like I saw that not Hurricane, the
oh,
tornado movie.
Twisters. Yeah.
Yeah, I really hated that. I thought that that was just like really like blockbuster and there wasn't a lot to it. I don't know. I left it being like I feel like AI made that movie. I don't know. It just wasn't great. Um, and I kind of went into Alien like hoping that wasn't going to be the same thing. And it wasn't. It just seemed like real people like made that movie, like it was just like it was very good.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I think I'm actually going to see that tomorrow. So I'm
Oh,
excited.
nice.
Yeah. Um
Nice.
the director Fede Alvarez also did that remake of Evil Dead that I thought was really good. Um
Oh, I never saw that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I hadn't seen any of them before Evil Dead Rise came out. But that like the past month I've just been trying to rewatch all of it. So, but cool.
I should give that a watch. Yeah. Do you have to watch the previous ones to like understand the newest one?
I think the original three kind of make sense in order, but the remakes you don't need to at all. Um,
Okay.
like Bruce Campbell kind of has some cameos, but that's the only thing that carries over. So
Yeah. Okay, cool.
for sure.
I'll have to give that a watch.
A little different note, um, more existential. What makes you af- what makes you fearful of the future, and what makes you hopeful?
Ooh, that's a good question. Um, what makes me hopeful about the future is hmm,
If
something that
anything.
makes me yeah, I need to think for a second about that one. Um, I feel hopeful about the future when I think about like living somewhere that I really want to be living, and like having a career, like pursuing something on a daily basis that makes me feel challenged or like makes me feel like I'm helping or like I'm like doing something important. Um, right now, I have a job that I really like, but it doesn't challenge me at all. It's very easy, which I really like right now. Just because this year for me has just been about like relaxing and just taking time for me, and having a really easy job so that I can have the room to do things like learn guitar and like pursue all these other small things. Um, but in the future, it makes me excited thinking about having a job every day that, yeah, is a little bit more challenging and that I care about a lot, and that like no matter what happens in my life, like with relationships or with family or whatever, like I feel like that job is like my passion, and like I still have that like grounding me. Um, and so that makes me really hopeful for the future. Um, Having a family one day makes me hopeful for the future. I think that would be quite nice. Um, and what makes me scared for the future? I guess what makes me scared is like the opposite of that. It's that like I won't find what that is, like career wise. Um, the idea of like in the future, like having a job that I go to every day that is unfulfilling and is just for money is like sad to think about a little bit. But sometimes that happens. Um, Sometimes you do have to work a job that is just for pay and you create a beautiful life around that. Doesn't have to be both. Um, but it does scare me the idea of that not happening. Um, yeah, the idea of my family dying in the future is really scary. My friends dying in the future is really scary. It's something that I can't even like think too deeply about because it's just like, first of all, what's the point? I don't need to think about that until it comes. You can't, as much as you think like, oh, I can think about this a lot and like mentally prepare myself for it. You can't. It's going to be equally as hard when it happens. But yeah, that's very scary to think about. And the fact that that happens to all of us, like every single human on this planet, we have to deal with that inevitable fate is crazy. Like how do we all just deal with that? That's so wild. Yeah,
Yeah, sometimes we can distract ourselves, but that's the only thing common to all of us is we're all gonna die, right? So,
yeah.
yeah. Does it make you think about legacy?
Um, you mean legacy in terms of like how people will think about me after I die, like whether like I like leave a mark on this planet or not?
Mhm.
Um, I don't really think about legacy that much, I guess. Um, just because I feel like I'm just gonna do what makes me happy while I'm alive, and like I won't know whether people remember it or not. And also like I think there's a lot of people who have done like really amazing things and haven't been remembered. Um, like maybe they've just done those really amazing things like in private. Like of course when I'm gone, I'd love people to like say positive things about me and like have good things to say, but yeah, I don't really think about that often. That's an interesting question. Do you?
I think the past few years, like once I started putting out music, I thought a lot more about legacy, but um mostly for the people who I do know will remember me, like making things so that people can, like this podcast, for example, like just after I die, I want there to be something that people can pull up on YouTube and hear me talk,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
just because for the people in my life who have passed away, I kind of wish there was something like that. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
but
Yeah. That's an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah. Maybe once you have started writing some songs, that can be a way to eternalize a little bit, but it's probably better
Totally.
to not
Yeah.
be dwelling on it that much. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, true.
so switching directions, why do you do what you do?
Mm, why do I do what I do? In terms of like my job or just in general?
Uh, as open-ended as possible, I guess.
Okay. Um, mm, I guess I do what I do so that I every day can feel like some sense of accomplishment and fulfillment. If I finish my day and I feel like um, I've created something or I've accomplished something, like I've added something to the world, like I've added something to my world, um, that makes me able to sleep at night nicely, you know? And I guess that adds to like legacy, like what you were saying before. Um, why do I do what I do? If we're talking about jobs, right now I work with kids, kindergartners, and I do that job because I really enjoy being around them every day. I think they're like really funny and like no matter what kind of day or week I'm having, like I know when I go to school and I see them, it's gonna make me feel really happy. Um, and I like working with kids that are that young because you can see like a really big difference, very quickly. Um, and they're like little sponges, like they soak in everything that you say. So you have to be it's a tough job because you have to be very mindful about the words that you use, um, and the things that you say because they hear everything that you say and they will start repeating everything that you say. So you can't say bad things because they'll repeat that. And just like the not I don't even mean like saying bad words and stuff, but like just like the specific language that you use. I've had students that like haven't talked at all. Like I've thought that they're just kind of like nonverbal. I mean, at like 4 or 5 years old, a lot of kids tend to be a little bit nonverbal and then they start talking later. But I've had some kids that are like that, and then all of a sudden halfway through the semester they start like saying things that I said like a few months ago. And I'm like, I didn't even think you were listening to me. I didn't even think you could talk. And now you're repeating something that I said 2 months ago, you know? So that's a fun challenge. Like you have to be very aware of what you're saying all the time. Um, and yeah, so I think that's why I do that. It's like you can see a very clear impact every day when you go to work. Um, yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah. I I don't spend much time around kids on a college campus, but in a way
Yeah.
undergrads can be like 5-year-olds, I guess. In many ways they're not, but yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
So, a little bit lighter, who is one of your favorite historical figures and why?
Ooh, who was one of my favorite historical figures and why? It's a hard question. Gonna have to think about that one. When I was a kid, I used to like Helen Keller a lot. I thought she was amazing. I like used to read a bunch of books about Helen Keller. I don't know why, but like I was just like looked up to her a lot. I thought it was super cool that someone could like not be able to like see or hear and still like function on this earth. And it just makes me think a lot about like thinking about Helen Keller specifically makes me get like really existential because I'm like, what is even the point of living? You know? You can't see, you can't hear, like, but like still, like she figured out how to talk somehow. She figured out how to write. Like she had like a relatively like normal life after she was like taught how to do all these things. Um, and yeah, that's just crazy to me that like people can have like that much adversity in their life and still find like a reason for living. So yeah, I find her very inspirational. I'm like, wow, if someone like that can keep going every single day, we can all keep going like that every single day. And also just like the idea behind it, like the way that she was taught, you know, put the hand under the water and like fell, like I still can't wrap my head around that. That's crazy.
Yeah, very, very tenacious spirit. Um,
Yeah.
do you do you have a problem with the song "Don't Trust Me" by 303 then? Because they
Oh God.
yeah,
Yeah, what's the line in that?
um shush girl, shut your lips, do the Helen Keller and talk with your hips.
Yeah.
A little
That song
problematic.
probably shouldn't have been allowed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there was a lot of things at that time that probably shouldn't have been allowed. So unfortunately, I remember loving that song when I was like 12, but I was also like 12 when that came out. So I was like, yeah, banger. I didn't have a huge problem with it.
Yeah. I feel like maybe with Warp Tour starting up again, we'll get a 303 reunion, but one can
That
hope.
would be wild.
Yeah.
One can only hope. Yeah. Yeah. That's funny.
So you spoke a little bit about this already, but before you die, is there a place that you would like to live that you haven't lived yet?
Ooh. Um, yeah, I'd love to. I've spent a lot of my life like living in Asia. I've lived in like India and China and now Thailand. Um, and then I lived in Zambia for a little bit, and then I lived in the States, but I haven't, there's a lot of places in Europe that I would love to live. Like I would love to live in Italy one day before I die. That would be really nice. Um, maybe France. Um, yeah, those are like the two places on the top of my list right now. Living in like Italy or France would be very ideal. Maybe living in like Florence or something. I went to Florence for vacation like a year ago, and I thought it was like the most amazing place I've ever been in my life. There's just like art everywhere and music everywhere, and it's so beautiful. And I really like Renaissance art, and so that was just you could see a lot of that there. So that was really nice. Um, yeah, and to be honest, besides those places, I don't really mind where I end up because I've lived in a lot of places already. And those are the only two places that I would like really want to go. But after that, I'm like, okay, as long as I have a family and a cool job wherever I end up, like, isn't too important, I guess.
For sure. I've never been to Italy, but my sister studied abroad in France in Toulouse for like a year,
Mm.
so I got to go out there and visit. And yeah, as
Did you
someone
like that?
who's what
Did you like it there?
I thought it was really cool. I think I would like it more if I knew any French, but
Yeah.
um, I don't know. I I think she wants to live there again at some point too. Uh,
Hmm.
but cool. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
only mostly just lived in the US in various states. But
Where would you want to live if you could pick one place?
um I think at some point in my life I want to live in New York City and try to do
Mm.
music. Um and once I've failed as an artist, I'll pursue my professor path. But I
Hmm.
you gotta try once, you know.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Even the
Cool.
act of like trying to make it in New York City sounds like fun. I've thought about that before too. I've thought about like going there, trying to pursue the like Broadway thing, and then maybe failing at it, maybe not. But like either way, that pursuit is really like exciting to think about.
Yeah, and I think if I never did it, I would regret not doing it. So,
That's a good thing to know.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what is not important?
It's not important. Um, I guess what other people think of you is not important. But that's easier said than done. Like I know that, um, but I don't feel that. Like I care a lot about what people think about me. Um, but I know that that's not important, because it really doesn't matter. Um, and what else? Um, it's hard to say because like what's not important to me might be like very important to other people. Um, and I feel like anything that I'm thinking of right now that's not important to me, I'm like, then my mind is like, oh no, wait, that actually is kind of important. Um, what do you think isn't important?
What I think is not important. I think um I don't think having a lot of money is that important. Um
Mm,
I I think what shouldn't be important but often feels like it is expectations other people may put on you. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I just growing up felt a lot of pressure to like do something important, you know, and um I think I was pursuing ways to do that that weren't making me happy. Um so maybe things that make us unhappy shouldn't be important, but that's kind of a double
yeah,
negative. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that makes sense though.
I think the question what is important is usually an easier question than what is not important. Um,
Yeah, no, you're right. And by asking what isn't important, it makes you think about what is important. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a harder question to answer.
yeah, that's why I sneak it in later. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Gonna be pondering a lot of these questions after the episode.
yeah, maybe we'll have a season two.
Yeah. Yeah.
So could you tell us a little bit about your family?
Yeah. So I have um a brother. He is like 2 years younger than me. He's 23, and he currently actually lives in Thailand right now as well. He just moved here like a few months ago. Um, and then I have a mom and a stepdad, and they both live in China still. And then I have a dad and a stepmom, and they both live in San Francisco, and then I have um, yeah, I used to have five grandmas because my mom's my mom has a mom, and then also a stepmom, and then my dad has a mom, and then my stepdad has two moms, sort of, because his mom is lesbian, so she has a wife. So that's a fun fact about my family. I always tell people, I'm like, I have five grandmas. That's crazy. Um, and then yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
two grandpas.
didn't I didn't realize that was possible, but I suppose five.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a lot of grandmas. Yeah. It's a lot of Christmas money, which is really, really nice. When you have five grandmas.
yeah.
Yeah.
Keep the dough
It's kind
rolling.
of yeah. Yeah.
Well, cool.
Um,
I think family is
yeah.
important. Uh,
Family is very, very important. Yeah. Um, it's hard being away so far away from my family, but like with the life that I've lived, it's inevitable that like wherever I am, I'm gonna be like away from my family. Um, just because like my parents are divorced, so they're always living in two separate places, you know. So I'm always gonna either be away from my mom or be away from my dad. But when I was living in San Francisco, I was there for like 4 years, and yeah, 3 years while I was there, I didn't see my mom, so I didn't see her for yeah 3 years, which is crazy. That's like a long time to not see a parent. Um, and yeah, but now that I'm in Thailand and she's in China, I can see her quite a lot. I've seen her like 3 or 4 times this year already, actually 4 times. And then I think she's going to come visit again next week, which is really nice. But yeah, I agree. Family is really, really important. It's important to like make you feel grounded, not like you're just like floating around, you know? Yeah.
yeah, I definitely at times have felt floaty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be hard. And like you said, like you can't really be around all of your family at the same time. So it sounds like kind of waves, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's weird to think about, but like, I guess like we all used to live together when I was in China. Like my dad lived in China too. They were still divorced, but like they both still lived there. Um, and then as soon as I graduated high school, that's when my dad moved to California. Um, but it's crazy to think about, like, yeah, I guess that time in high school was the last time that I will probably like ever be around. Maybe not. I guess like if I get married or something, my whole family will be there. But like, um, yeah, there's not going to be a lot of moments where like I'm around like all of my family um at once, which is crazy. Um, but it is what it is. That's why you have to like build your own family too, you know? Like I feel like I've become really good at like building my own family like through my friends and stuff as I've traveled around. Because yeah, you can do that, you know? Like I feel like the friends that you end up making when you get older, you see even more than you see your family. And you have to like rely on those people a little bit more because I don't know, all the friends that I have here right now, we're all away from our families. So it just like makes that bond like even closer. That's the nice thing about like being around other travelers is like, yeah, we've all chosen this life of being away from our families. So we all have to like, you get a lot closer a lot quicker because like you have to rely on each other really fast. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I think too as we get older, I think we do get a little better at figuring out who could potentially be a good friend and who I don't know. I think I'm less picky in general too about friends than I used to be.
Mm. That's interesting. I think I'm the opposite. I'm way more picky. I used to be a little bit less picky and very trusting of everyone. And now I'm like a lot more picky of like who I like really like share things with, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah. But I could see it going the other way too, you know? But I used to be friends with everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've approached our last question.
Uh-oh.
Thanks for being here,
Yeah.
Slim Sadie. Um, so the last question, what advice would you give your 18-year-old self, and do you think you would take the advice?
Hmm. The advice I would give my 18-year-old self is you are never stuck in anything. Like, as much as you can think that you're stuck in a certain situation, you're not. You can adapt and you can change and you can do whatever you want. And you'll be fine. Like, you can leave relationships, you can leave any situation that you're in, and you will still be completely fine.
Something I would have told my 18-year-old self would be not to change for other people. Because when you're in high school, it's very easy to try and do that to fit in, and to do things that you know in your heart that you wouldn't normally want to do or that like don't fit who you actually are. But it's very easy at that age to just go along with the crowd and do what your friends are doing to try and seem cool or to try and make more friends. But at the end of the day, it's not worth it because you kind of lose parts of yourself along the way when you do that.
Whatever makes you happy, regardless of what, been able to listen to that. I would have still probably cared more at 18 about like impressing other people than just like, and like trying to be cool, than just doing what makes me happy. Um, yeah. What else? Um, yeah. But it like I probably any advice I could give to my 18-year-old self, I probably wouldn't have listened to because I wouldn't have had the mental capacity to be able to understand it, you know? It's
Mhm.
like taken years and years and years of like I feel like between 18 and 25, your brain just like changes so much and grows so much and you learn so many different things about yourself and like I don't know, there's so many moments between those ages where you're just like whoa, like you'll like literally feel like your brain like rewired with like one thought and you're like, oh, and then it's completely different, you know? Um, and that takes a lot of time, you know? It doesn't just like happen like that. That's one thing like with like mental health and like thinking more positive thoughts and changing the way I think into like a more positive way. It's been really helpful realizing that like that doesn't happen overnight. That doesn't happen immediately. Like it does happen, but like it takes lots and lots of like gradual time and like you have to be okay with baby steps if you want to get anywhere. Um, and I guess that's one thing I thought when I was 18. I was like, okay, like if I can't achieve this new way of thinking or like this new way of being immediately, like tomorrow, there's no point in trying, you know? But yeah, you realize as you get older that like those baby steps are very important. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good question.
Yeah, I think I too would,
Yeah, it's
regardless
a
of
very
what
good
advice I
question.
gave, I probably wouldn't listen. I wonder maybe I yeah, I don't know. I think in a lot of ways we change a lot, but there are core things about us that have stayed the same. I'd like to believe. Um, if only to solidify a sense of
Yeah,
identity, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I would hope that there's a lot of core things that have stayed the same, but I'm more grateful that a lot of things have changed.
Yeah. Well, all right.
Yeah.
Is
To be
there
honest.
any last minute thoughts before we wrap up?
Um, no, I don't think so. Thank you for all the interesting questions. It's like cool to think about, like we don't like ponder these things sometimes that often. And it's nice to like ponder these questions, but also get to like talk about them with somebody else. So yeah, thanks. This has been very interesting.
For sure. All right. Well, that has been the GRODCAST. Again, I'm Young Greasy, joined by Slim Sadie. And yeah, we're out.